Guys, I was being inordinately, abominably stupid. Jesus. Lord, save me. Yo, I am bad at this. Okay. I am just miserably bad at this. Here's what happened. I started streaming and I connected my software to YouTube to start feeding it to YouTube, but I didn't turn the YouTube to the public on. So my stream was going from my software to YouTube, but it wasn't going from YouTube to the world. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. Hilarious. I basically have to restart my stream. Hang on. And I even turned off my Discord because I want to save my RAM. So let me see if anyone was even like texting me. Okay. And no one was. So maybe no one's even online at this time. Wow, that was dumb. Okay, let's start over. I gotta start over my whole stream. I started like 25 minutes ago and I have to start over. Okay. Let's start over. All right. Good evening from the East Coast of the United States of America, where I am based, and also from the realm of stupidity from which I hail. Dude, I literally streamed 25 minutes to the void. So I'm gonna start that over. Let's do that again. Hey guys, today it's my third time streaming today, and the reason I'm doing it 3 times today is because I had these couple ideas that were new for me. Okay, so the first idea was I was going to do office hours. And office hours, I did this in the morning where I reviewed comments from the previous day. These comments came through YouTube, and it also came through my Discord server. So basically, if you ever ask me a question on YouTube or Discord that I think could be helpful for other people, I'll review it the next day and I'll explain more in detail what I was thinking. And I think it was a pretty good format. I think it was a good thing to do. So that's office hours, which I'm going to start doing in the mornings. Then in the afternoon, instead of doing this SAT stream, what I was doing was the vocab plus gaming. It was just this random idea I had, but I was doing the vocab plus gaming stream, where I kind of collect 5 words that I am forced to use during a game, and then I use them. And so you can join the vocab plus gaming stream next time on Monday in the afternoons if you want to hear me use a word that you're not too comfortable with. Okay, so if you guys don't supply words for me, I'll just do it on my own. I'll find my own words, and my words tend to be really, really weird words. I mean, because vocabulary.com is giving me really strange, difficult words to use. But basically, I'll be using new vocabulary, either new for me or new for you, and I'll be using it so you can kind of hear it. And it's pretty stressful actually to try to use it when I'm playing a video game, because I'm trying not to get tilted and all these other things. I'm trying to not to lose and whatnot. So it's just this random dumb idea. I'll see how popular it is. It might not be popular at all, but I'm trying it for a while. And then now I'm switching the SAT streams to the evenings. I'm going to try it for a couple days to see how popular it is in the evenings, because I noticed that most of my viewers are from the US. And for you guys, whether you're on the West Coast or the East Coast, it's easier to catch my streams after school. So I'm experimenting with pushing it to 8 p.m. Now, that said, maybe this is a worse time for you, or maybe this is a better time for you. I don't really know. I only know what the YouTube analytics tells me, but I don't actually know your opinion. So if you have an opinion about what time is better for you, whether the 4 p.m. time, the 4 p.m. Eastern time was better for you, or whether the 8 p.m. time seems to be better for you, just let me know in the comments below or in the chat right now, and I'll kind of keep note of that. So those are some quick announcements. Now, if you go and actually look at the, if you look at the description below, I have a couple more things I can just mention, but you can just read along with me as I mentioned them. The 2022 March US QAS has been found. There is a PDF copy now that is out there, and you can download it from the link below. On top of that, my schedule right now is for the SAT streaming is to do it to do this 2022 March US math test review first, and I think that'll take me maybe today, and maybe if it takes a long time, I'll finish it off on Monday. And then after I do that, I'll be doing the 2019 May US math, and I'll solve it in real time. Okay, I'll solve it in real time. And so you'll be able to see me do that as well and see how I work under pressure. Now with math, I don't usually run out of time. So it's usually College Board, stop being dumb. Stop doing that to me. But anyway, I'll fix that problem in a second. You might have noticed on the screen that College Board just logged me out for some reason. But going back to what I was saying, I will be doing the what was I saying? Yeah, I'll be doing the 2019 May Math US. 2019 May US QAS math test after reviewing this one. Okay. Final announcement, if you just look at the description below, I also say that I will be doing the, since I'm going to be doing the, the office hours, right, every morning, any discussion, like honestly, you guys can come into Discord and just, ask whatever questions you have, okay? And I strongly encourage, if you come into our Discord, you also try to go ahead and explain or try to help by answering other people's questions as well. Even if you are not 100% sure if your approach is the right way, trying to explain the way you would approach a problem will make you sharper, okay? And for that matter, actually, asking a proper question, asking questions about the things that you're worrying about will also make you sharper. Because asking a question forces you to get out of your head and into the world of language, and then it forces you to explain the thing that you're struggling with, so that makes you sharper. And then having to explain how you do it, that also makes you think about the way you really do it, so that does make you sharper as well. So I think the best way to learn is by teaching and also by asking. So keep doing that, and I welcome you to do that in my Discord server. I know other Discord servers exist that kind of do the same thing. I found that the 분위기, that's Korean, the vibe of some of these other Discord servers are a little bit a little grabby, a little acquisitive, a little greedy, I kind of get a sort of unpleasant vibe sometimes in some of these other servers. So I'm hoping for maybe a more helpful community sort of communal vibe, in mind. That's what I'm hoping for. So yeah, you can use the link in the description below to join the server. All right, I'm about to go into the math now, and I'm seeing Oscar, thank you for the moral support. And I don't know if you heard the very beginning of this stream, but I was being a total idiot. I was streaming for 25 minutes to literally nobody because I didn't turn on the stream from YouTube. I was routing it from my software to YouTube, but not from YouTube to the world. So I'm about to actually properly start now. So this is actually all my notes for the first couple questions, but I'm going to start that over. The problem is I don't want my information to pop up here, so let me just black out the screen for a second. Okay, I'll be right back with my screen after I log in. Just waiting for it to log me in. Okay. Oh, they changed the page. It's way cleaner now. It's way cleaner. Okay. Oh, I guess this is the mobile page. I see. Never mind. They didn't change it. It's just the same thing, but the mobile page is cleaner. Okay, so I'm going into the math without calculator, and I'm going to go to question number 1. Where's question number 1? Click, and we're off to the races. Okay, and I was being extremely stupid, so I'm actually just going to start over. Okay, so on the right side, you have my iPad where I'm going to show you my work, but I must make a massive, massive disclaimer, okay? I am not a math tutor. I am not a math tutor, so I sometimes will not remember the right word for math terms. I'm just going to show you, as somebody who took the March 2022 US last month, and as somebody who didn't study whatsoever, I just went in, and I hadn't had a math class in more than 10 years, okay? I just went in cold, and I still got a 770 because I kind of remember the fundamental principles, right? I'm just going to tell you what I did, okay? I'm not telling you that the way I'm doing it is the only way or the most efficient way. It's not even going to be the mathematically, like the necessarily, it's not, my terminology is not necessarily even going to be correct. I'm probably going to make some mistakes while I'm explaining this, okay? But don't focus so much on my knowledge, focus more on my approach, and determine for yourself whether my approach is similar to your approach and whether it helps you, okay? Also, because I'm not like a professional math tutor, I won't focus on explaining and analyzing every single question. I'm just gonna kind of explain the way I did it, like kind of roughly. You know, I'm just gonna sort of be like, oh, this is how I did it, and then just sort of comment on it. And then you just tell me what you're curious about, and then I'll explain further, okay? So I'm gonna be giving pretty minimum explanations, and then the more you ask me questions, the longer my explanations will get, okay? So that's the way I'll be doing the math stream, since I'm not a math person, or at least I'm not someone who's like remembering how to use all these math terms. So let's start with the first question. Okay, here we are. So they have a total of 401 votes. The number of votes that Blaine receives, okay, is B, was 37 fewer than the number that C receives, okay, which means that C is greater than B. So when you add 37 to B, then you get C, okay? And then the two of them together, B plus C, is equal to 401. So I'm looking at the answers right now, and so I can eliminate A and B right away, so it's C or D, but I'm noticing between C and D, they both start with B equals, okay? If I look at the bottom over here, it's not text. But anyway, B equals, right? So I want to just change this to B equals, and how do I do that? I just do minus 37 on both sides. So this gets canceled, basically. You can just sort of, if it's, you can just erase this, and then that becomes B equals C minus 37. Let's go. I assume that one's pretty straightforward for most people, but if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. Moving on with the next one. For me, honestly, I do all of this stuff without writing. I just do it in my head because I'm pretty confident with these things. But, I'm just going to show my work on paper. So moving on to the next question. For me, I see the 7p and the 2p on both sides, and I just subtract 2p, so then I get 5p on the right side. And then I subtract minus 8 on both sides. I do minus 8 on both sides, so I get minus 2 on the left side, okay? So I just do that really quickly in my head. And then I'm trying to look for p, right? So I just divide by 5 on both sides, and that I can erase these. So that becomes p equals minus 2/5. That is B. Again, you can always just, if you're stuck on any of these, just ask a question. Ask and you shall receive. Number three, where are we? Okay, so which of the following could be a graph that represents visually this formula? Okay, where y is how high something is, and x is how much the side something is, and m is the slope. Well, m is positive. It's positive, so it has to be. That means that the slope has to point upwards, right, to the right. So that is definitely going to be either C or D. Then you look at plus 3. So plus 3 means that's the y-intercept. So that's definitely C. The y-intercept has to be at 3. So that's definitely not minus 3 over here, right? So it's C. Moving on. Number 4. So for this, the question is, which equation correctly expresses h in terms of the other ones? So basically, what does h equal, right? I want to get what does h equal. So I need to kind of extract h from all the mess of all the other stuff that's there, right? So what's the first thing I do? I square both sides. So to square both sides, I get y squared equals hg over x. Hang on, I'm actually gonna make this even prettier, although this is not the way I actually think, but h over gx, okay? Because h times gx is the same as hg over x. So this is what I have now, and how do I get h? Well, I just negate gx. So then I just do x or xg. So this gets negated, and so I have h, which means it should be xy squared over g. Xy squared over g, which one is that? That's d. D over here. Moving on. Again, feel free to just ask questions whenever you have them, because again, I'm just going to explain this as roughly as possible until people ask. X minus 1 is equal to 8, but it's an absolute value. So if x is a solution to the given equation, what is a possible value of x minus 1? I wonder what the whole if x is a solution to a given equation is even necessary for. I don't fully understand why that part's necessary in this question, but I'll answer your question in theory in just a second. This question is basically just saying, what does x minus 1 equal, or what could it equal? And x minus 1 could only equal two numbers in the whole world. Okay, it could only equal 8 or minus 8. So that's A, because that's what absolute value means. Okay, it's x minus 1, right? This could equal 8 or minus 8. Oh, sorry, or minus 8, because the absolute value of it is equal to 8. So yeah, I don't know how else to explain that. So if you have questions, just let me know. But I feel like for me, I don't know how else to explain that at the moment. At least I can come up with other explanations if the more that people ask. Now I'm going to answer Ethereal's question. I see that you do the test on a device. Do you think there's any benefit to printing? Oh, heck yeah. I'm doing it on a device because it's hard for me to situate a camera to show you my screen. It's like extremely hard, like, because then you're gonna see my hair, you're gonna see my hand. You know, it's just extremely difficult to do it digitally. To do it over for you guys on YouTube. But I would strongly recommend, unless you guys are gonna take the SAT next year when the new digital SAT comes out. Okay, if you're gonna take it this year, I strongly recommend just doing it on PDF. The printout of the PDF. I'm like the English teacher and I can't speak English. But anyway, yeah, print it out and do it with your pencil, because that's more closely emulating the real test. That's my recommendation. I guess there is one benefit if you do it digitally is, you can maybe like share your files with like your tutors, maybe. If your tutor's the kind of, excuse me, I had a really bad lunch, which like messed me up. Anyway, the one benefit, I guess, of doing it digitally is that you can like send your file to a tutor if your tutor has the energy to analyze what you were doing. But most tutors don't do that, so I don't see I don't know if anyone else can think of a positive, like a pro, like a reason for doing that. But I would generally recommend PDF printout. Now moving on to the next question. This is function f. Okay, so we have a line. We have a straight line. Which equation defines f? So basically, I'm just looking for the y-intercept, which is minus 8. And here we are. Okay, y equals mx minus 8. So that's A or C. And then look at the difference between A or C. 1 is greater than 1, and 1 is less than 1. And I'm just looking for the slope of 1 looks like a 45-degree angle, right? So is this steeper than 45 degrees, or is this what's the opposite of steeper? Is this flatter than like 45 degrees? Okay, is this steeper than 45 degrees, or is this flatter than 45 degrees? It's definitely steeper than 45 degrees, so it's definitely greater than 1. So that's A. Hang on. Yeah, here is the answer. moving on. So I'm looking at question 7. Quick comment though, I'm just realizing something. One difference in the way one difference I'm noticing between the math and the EBRW is on the EBRW, I strongly emphasize the whole predict before you answer. Whereas in math, I'm basically doing the same thing, but I feel like there's no other real way. You have to actually solve it first, right? Actually, I guess that's not true. Some kids could probably be doing the process of elimination by feeding the answers back into the questions. Interesting. I'm not sure if that's actually how people are doing it. But just FYI, as far as I'm concerned, I always basically solve it in my own head, or on paper, I solve it myself first and then get the answer. I have never done it the other way around, where I just try to feed the answers into the question to get the right answer. I've never done it that way, and I've always had extra time, even as a kid when I was your age. So I'm not a math strategy expert, right? Because I don't focus on math, but I feel like reading EBRW and math are similar in the sense that you probably shouldn't rely on the answers or the answer choices to get you the answer. I think you should try to be able to just solve it on your own first. All right, that's just my side comment. If you have any thoughts though on that, because maybe I'm simplifying it too much, share your opinions. A research institute conducted phone and mail surveys. The total cost, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this because I don't want to remember this. The total cost is $5,000. Okay, the cost of the phone surveys and the cost of the mail surveys together is $5,000. The line shown models the possible combinations of phone and mail surveys. What's the cost for each phone survey? Oh, okay, for each phone survey. So this needs to divide into two things, okay? This is the, okay, I'm going to be bad with like the number of phone surveys versus the cost of phone surveys, okay? This is definitely not the annotation. This is not the notation that you use in school, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is just my Sol notations. Saltation. This is my saltation, okay? Just follow along with me for the time being, okay? So the number of phone surveys times the dollar cost of each phone survey, and we're actually looking for the dollar cost of each phone survey, okay? So we need to multiply these two to get P, okay? Well, the easiest way to do this is when I look at this graph, I automatically go for the zeros, okay? And then I'm gonna look for mail survey is equal to 0. So I want to look for mail survey is equal to 0. So let me actually just cross this out and put a 0 on top. Okay. So when mail surveys is 0, we actually have how many phone surveys? We have 125 phone surveys. So I'm going to cross this out and I'm going to just do 125. Well, this is what we're solving for. So what this means is the $P is equal to 5,000 divided by 125, because I'm just dividing 125 on both sides. So if I do that, then all I need to do is do this, but I need to do this mentally because I don't have a calculator, so that's pretty easy because I can just divide this. What is 125 equal to? Okay, that's easy to divide 5,000 with, right? And basically 125 is equal to, actually, you know what, I'll just erase it. 125 is equal to 5 times, oops, boop, boop, 5 times 25. 5 times 25, 5,000 divided by 5 is super easy, right? So that's actually equal to 1,000 divided by 25, which is 25 times 4 is 100. 4 times, but then 100 times 10 is 1,000, so that's 40, right? So that's equal to 40. I don't know if that was too fast because that's the way I do mental math personally. Other people could have gone kind of different routes, but that's the way I did it. All right. Mental math is very personal. Everyone kind of does it their own way. But for me, I just split out the 125 into 5 times 25, and then I just divided the 5s away, and then I divided 25. Got 40. So that is, what answer is that? That's C. Okay. Vitiate. I guess you watched that stream. Awesome. It is a lot of paper, that's true. And you don't want to... Good. The ethereal, amazing use of that word. Honestly, I'm not super comfortable with that word, so I can't tell you if you're using it like the exactly right way, but it seems like you're using it the right way. So, proud of you. Let's keep going. The next question is... okay, so for this, I see the x cubed, and then I see the regular x's, and then I see the regular integers, right? So for me, I kind of am looking at the x cubes first, and then the x's second, and then the integers third. So what that means is I'm sort of just doing addition, subtraction on the x cubes. So let's work with the addition, subtraction on x cubes. That's 5x cubed minus 2x cubed, so that's 3x cubed, okay? Then what's the regular x's? That's minus 2x, but then it says plus 2x here, but this is a subtraction, right? So you have to actually flip it. So it's minus 2x minus 2x. So that's double minus 2x, which is minus 4x. And then over here, I should put a line. Over here, I see a plus 1, and then I see a plus 1 over here, but you have to subtract it, so it's minus 1. So plus 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So that is this. So that is C. All right. Let me know if you have any questions there. Moving on. Question 9. A, B, C, and D, E, F, these are two triangles. Each have two angles measuring 35. So they have the same shape, because if it's 35, 35, then the third angle always has to be 110. Yeah, it has to be 110. It has to be, because the three angles of the triangle always add up to the same number, 180. So I mean, we don't have to even know if it's 110 or not yet, but it might be useful to think about it. But they're definitely the same shape. Which there's a grammatical word for this. There's a geometric word for this, which is similarity. They're both similar. Okay, I just learned this because I got this one wrong, or I was struggling with this last time. But yes, they're similar triangles. And they each have the same, right? They're similar. And which of the following additional pieces of information is sufficient to prove that they're congruent? So congruent means, beyond similarity, means that they are actually the same size, I guess. Same angles and same size, right? They can like overlap each other perfectly. Well, all you really need is that one of these legs are the same as each other. So if you say BC is equal to EF, that would definitely be correct. A, which is, if you're just talking about angles, you're not helping with similarity. This is only helping with similarity. It doesn't help with congruence. AC and DE is insane. That would actually make it wrong. Okay, that would make it wrong, because DE is the long side, the long leg, and AC is the short leg. So if you do that, then that would mess it all up. And so the correct answer is B. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay. I'm just going to move on. But even if I move on, just because there is a little bit of a lag between me streaming and you seeing it, okay? So even if I move on, you can ask a question about the previous question, and I will go back to the previous question when I'm done talking, okay? So don't feel nervous or awkward about asking something just because Saul moved on like 10 seconds ago. Okay, 10 seconds is not that big of a difference. So I will move backwards when necessary. Which expression is equivalent to where y is equal to greater than 0? Okay, so when you are multiplying exponents, you're just adding them. Okay, this is so silly. All right, right, so it's y is okay, it's like this, right? But I'm seeing something that really helps, because y 3/4, okay, to the 3/2 power means that you actually multiply across. So what that means is this is equal to y 1/8 times y of 9/8. Okay, but then when you just multiply where the coefficient is this called coefficient? Is coefficient the right word? I think coefficient is the right word. Coefficient is the right word. Where y, okay, Here it's one coefficient and you're doing y to the 3/4 power to the 3/2 power. So this is an exponent of an exponent. When it's an exponent of an exponent, then you multiply. But when you have two, what do you call these? Exponential numbers. When you have two exponential entities, okay? I literally don't remember what to call these things. But when you have two of these, then you just add them, okay? So that means it's 10/8. Okay, so we got that. But 10/8, you can just divide that because it's a fraction. It's y 5/4. Okay, so that's the beginning of that. And then when it's, let me look at the answer choices. Okay, good. We have the cube root kind of notation there. But when you have a fractional exponent, then the denominator of the fractional exponent turns into a root. So you can actually say y to the 5th power, but it's the what's beyond cube root? It's like the quadra root. Dude, I don't know any of these words. I just remember the principles. I don't remember the words. But yes, that's how that works. If you know the words, please type it into the chat so I can stop embarrassing myself. But yeah, but that's how it works. So it should be the correct answer. College Board keeps signing me out. I need to hide the screen for a second just because I just don't like the idea of having my email being all shown to everybody. So give me a sec. Let me log back in. So y to the 5th power to the 4th root or something like that. I don't know I don't know the actual terminology for that, but the 4th root or the tetra root or quadra root or whatever the heck you call that. Okay, I'm gonna turn my screen back on because I'm logged in. Okay. Where are we? All right. So I'm looking for the test questions. I think that was question 9 or something. 9 or 10. Maybe 10. Yeah, it's 10. So that should be A. Let's look. Bloop. Got it. Oh, I got this one wrong, right? I legit don't know trigonometry anymore. Inside of the radical, I don't even know what a radical is the radicand, and the root number is called the index. Holy crap. So it's not called a coefficient, I think, is what you're saying. So if you're saying that the y is the radicand, no, that's the index. This is the index, and this is the radicand. Sure. I'll work with it. Anyway, I'm just doing it by gut feel. This is just, yeah, I just know how to do everything, but I don't know the names of them all. So like, except I legitimately don't know how to do trigonometry. So this one, I think I just got this one wrong on the real test. Oh, I see. 4 is the index and okay. You know what? I will not remember that. Like, I don't think I will be able to remember that. But this is the radicand. Radicand? Oh, no. This is the index, and this is the radicand. Radicand? Yeah, and the entire thing is the radical. Holy crap. Jeez. I have no idea what the heck that is, but sure. Those are names. I'm going to try to remember this. You know what? I'm even going to write it down so that if I ever look back at this, I know what this is. But this is the index. And this is the radicand, and the whole thing is the radical. Sure. Thank you, Ethereal, or Oscar, I mean. So embarrassing. And now I'm at the part of the test that I actually cannot explain whatsoever. Sine of 3 pi. So hang on, 3/4 pi is. It's like what's like is that 9 p.m.? So if it's 9 p.m., I'm trying to imagine. So that's. If sine starts at 0, then there's that curve, which means it would be at the bottom. If it's at 9 p.m., it would be at the bottom of the curve. So I have to look for so this is me literally not knowing trigonometry just imagining the graph, okay? Here's what I'm imagining, okay? I'm imagining this, okay? And I'm imagining a ball sort of rolling around like in a clock shape, okay? So this is 12 o'clock, this is 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock again. That's basically what I'm imagining right now. This is me not remembering trigonometry whatsoever. And I'm thinking 3/4 pi is over here, okay? Because this is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, full pi. I think, conceptually, I think I'm on the right thing, but my problem right now is I don't know if this is sine or if this is cosine. But I'm gonna guess that cosine starts here. That's my guess. My guess is that cosine starts at the highest number, whatever the hell that highest number is. Okay, that's my guess. So this is, I think cosine looks like this. Okay, I'm gonna see if I'm correct. Okay, so if I'm correct, I need to look for the biggest number possible. So the biggest number, the largest negative number possible. So the largest negative number is b. So because I don't know any trigonometry, I'm just going to choose b by guessing. It's positive? God damn it. All right, let's, okay. Do I have to learn what sine is? I guess I need to learn what sine is. Guys, I apologize, but I'm going to actually go and learn sine during this. What is sine? Memorizing the unit circle. Let's look at images, because I feel like the images are going to remind me. The opposite over the hypotenuse. And cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Holy Lord. SOHCAHTOA. Okay, I remember SOHCAHTOA. Okay, opposite over hypotenuse. Memorize the unit circle, sure. So I'm going to go sine unit circle. Dude. Okay, I don't know if anyone wants to watch me watch a different YouTube video, like learning what sine is, because I genuinely do not remember this whatsoever. But I assume no one wants to watch me watch a different YouTube video. So I'm gonna skip this question because I do not remember sine cosine. I'm gonna skip this question. What was the correct answer though? Let me see. Okay. The correct answer was a positive. I wonder why. What if the correct answer was a positive? Then it means that my whole theory is all wrong. But I kind of thought that this was kind of correct. But you know what? I don't remember this. So I recommend memorizing the unit circle. So sine is the y value of the coordinates of the unit circle. Yeah, I kind of vaguely see what I'm doing right here is my really bad memory of what the unit circle is, but I'm doing it in the graph form. But hang on, maybe does 3/4 pi? Okay, is 3/4 pi? So is 1 pi a full circle or a half circle? I don't fully remember. If 1 pi is half of a circle, then that means that makes sense why it's positive to me. If 2 pi represents a full circle, then that kind of makes some sense to me. Oh. So I was supposed to be looking for a positive number. I was supposed to be looking here. Okay, well, now I know. I was supposed to be looking here. Now I know not actually how sine works. I just know the shape, right? So with me not remembering trigonometry, I should have been able to be like, okay, C or D, and then I would have been like, well, if it's 3/4 pi, then it would be greater than 0 or something. I don't know. I would have just been able to kind of BS it until I got like a positive. At least I would have been able to get a positive number if I did that. But you know what? What I need to do is I need to look at the unit circle and I need to like memorize this, because in the future, apparently, so back in my day when I was in high school, they did not teach or they did not test trigonometry on the regular Math 1. They only tested trigonometry on Math 2C. By the way, I did get an 800 on the Math 2C, the subject test. But I just forgot trigonometry, so it just happens. Anyway, yep, I completely forgot about this. Let's move on. I'm not gonna learn trigonometry in front of you guys right now. I'm just trying to explain my process as someone who didn't study the math for a whole decade and still got a 770. All right, moving on. What is the graph of the equation y equals 2 to the minus x plus 1. So plus 1 means that the asymptote, this is called the asymptote, right? The asymptote has to be plus 1. And it's minus x. My gut feeling just says A, dude, just from like my bad memory of things. Oh, dude, I don't. Oh, you know what? The easy way to do this is just to plug in some numbers like 0. So if x is equal to 0, then what's the y? So 2 to the 0th power is 1, and then 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So I just need to find something where it intersects at 2. So that's A and C. That's A and C. So then I just have to ask myself, the larger this number becomes, does it get closer to 1 or does it get farther away from 1? It gets closer to 1, so therefore it has to be A. Yeah, so this is me not even remembering what the formula means. I don't remember the shape. I have not memorized the shapes of these formulas, but I just know that if I plug in this number 0 and if I kind of imagine what happens, that the larger that x becomes, I can get A. So A should be the correct answer, and that's what I got. Even on the real test, I didn't remember the actual graph. I just sort of reformulated it in real time. So that was that. 2005, 10 phlox plants were planted in a garden. The number of phlox plants increased by 140. So it's 2.4x. Which of the following equations best models the estimated number of plants? Hang on. So P is equal to 10 times. If it's 1 year, it should be 2.4. And if it's 5 years, you should just keep multiplying 2.4. So it should be D. And I'm very confident. Wait, am I being stupid? No, it should be 2.4. Because it's 140%. 140% is 2.4. I got this one right? Okay, good. Whoa, I was like losing track. Let me know if you have a question on that, because this is the kind of thing that I'm actually supposed to be good at when I was a product manager at a tech company. But for some reason I doubted myself. But yes, basically it's 1 plus 140%. That's which is equal to 2.4. Does that make sense? My annotation is so bad. Like, I think my annotation is wrong. Like, I think your math teachers would say I'm totally wrong. But anyway, my logic is right. It's just that I no longer how to speak the language of math anymore. I just sort of have the mathematical thinking, but not the actual proper notation. All right, so that is question 13. Question 14, the complete graph of the function f is shown in the xy plane. What is the y-intercept of the graph? I remember this one. Like, this one effed me up because I was like, it has to be a translation. It's like, is it to the left or is it to the right? And just like messed me up. Now, my gut feeling says if y is equal to function of x plus 2, because I see a plus, my gut feeling says it has to go to the left. Okay, so and I think that's what I did. What I did was I looked at that graph and I saw this. hang on. Sorry, that's a really terrible graph. I'm going to do that again. I saw this. Okay, and then I was just like, hey, it's probably just to the left. Okay, that's what I did. Now let me actually make sure that that's actually correct. And then I have to think of what the y-intercept is. So if this is correct, then the y-intercept would just be moved 1, 2. So it's basically this point right here would become the y-intercept. So it would be 1, 2, 3. The y-intercept would be 0, 3. So it should be A. Okay, it should be 0, 3. Because, and the way that I can confirm this is by making x 0. So if I make x 0, then function of x plus 2, so function of 2, where x is equal to 2, is what I'd be looking for. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's actually super easy. Yeah, so I'd just be looking for, I need to be able to mark, but basically I'm just looking for this right here. Function of x equals, like function of 2, that is the y-intercept right here. Anyway, I don't know how else to explain it. This is just me using my sol logic, my solgic. So I'm just doing it that way. But I think I'm pretty confident that the correct answer is now A, just using my logic. Okay, that was correct. Solgic wins the day. Moving on. One of the two equations in a linear system is 2x plus 2y is equal to 2. The system has no solution. If the system has no solution, then they have to contradict each other in some way. Oh, you know what's an easy way of contradicting? Okay, so one easy way of contradicting yourself is when you do it like this, right? Is equal to 2. Just divide everything by 2, so then that means y plus x is equal to 1, right? But then just say something crazy like y plus x is equal to 0. Then that would be very contradicting. So I need to find something where y plus x does not equal 1. Just anything where y plus x does not equal 1. So this is y plus x does not equal 1 over here in D, so that's almost certainly correct. So I'm just going to, like, this minus thing doesn't even really bother me because that's saying y minus, was I saying y plus x? I meant x plus y, but you guys know what I mean. So I'm looking at, yeah, so this one is definitely wrong. I mean, whereas this one, it could technically be correct, right? Hang on, let me erase this because this is not from the problem, right? There is a world in which y minus, x minus y is equal to 1 and x plus y is equal to 1. You know, they can both be true. I just have to imagine the numbers, but I can't imagine it at the moment. That could be true, but where you can't have this be true, you can't have this be true, but also this be true. That would be insane. So it has to be D. So that's D. Previous question number 14. 14 was perplexing. I'm going to try to explain my logic in a different way, but because I'm not able to draw on this particular graph right here, I have to actually replicate the graph real quick, okay? There's two ways of thinking that I used that kind of both confirmed each other and made me confident. Okay, so there's two ways of thinking that I used. Let me know in the chat if anybody here is better at explaining or is a better math tutor than I am, because again, I'm not a professional math tutor. I'm a professional English tutor, and I just happen to be good at math from memory, not from the vestiges of my glory days when I was actually really good at math. So if somebody has a better explanation, please type it. But for now, I'm going to use my solgic explanation, okay? Which is this. I have two ways of getting the right answer for 14. The first way is this sort of brute abstract way. The brute abstract way is Oh, the O stands for origin, right? That's what it stands for. Dude, I totally forgot about that. Okay. Anyway, the brute abstract way is, hang on, was that 2? Okay, the y-intercept is 1, 2. So I'm going to use a different color here. And then 1, oh. Okay, and then over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm gonna 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the brute abstract way of doing it is this is equal to f over x, right? So we know that when f of x is equal to 0, then that's equal to 2. Okay? Because a function of 0 is equal to 2 because that's right here. That's when x is 0, the y is 2. We know that. Now, what happens when you do f of x plus 2, okay, where x is equal to 0? So in this new function, in this separate parallel, in fact, I'm going to do it in a different color because it's actually kind of confusing. I'm going to do it in red. So what about this new graph? Okay, this new graph can look like a freaking alien. It doesn't matter. This is you being the abstract thinker. This is you not being a visual thinker. This is just you being a abstract number machine. Okay. The new red graph can look like a dinosaur. Doesn't matter. Okay. But abstractly, you must know that f of x plus 2 is this new graph. Okay. And the function, the y-intercept means that x has to be 0. X has to be 0. So that means, so if we're looking for the y-intercept, so I'm going to call it the y-intercept, y-int is equal to f of 0 plus 2, because at the y-int, x has to be 0. Then all you're doing is the y-int of the red new graph has to be function of 2, and function of 2 is equal to what? Well, look at this. Look at this over here. Function of 2 is equal to, in the blue world, okay, in the blue world, it is equal to 1, 2, okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, okay. So the y-int is equal to 3. So it's like two universes that are both shaped the same way, but they're kind of translated a little differently. So that's kind of a mind F. I was like debating whether to curse or not. That's kind of a mind F, honestly. But if you're a really good abstract thinker, you would just know that this is true. Okay. Whew. Okay, that was the abstract reasoning. The more visual reasoning. Okay, the more visual reasoning. Actually, you know what? I have to just undo all of this because I don't want to redraw that whole graph. I'm just going to keep undoing this until I can get the original graph. Okay. The more visual reasoning, okay, so this is my visual version, is if we have this new graph called f of, hang on, where is this? Where y is equal to f of x plus 2, okay, this is a red universe, it's a new graph. Does this translate to the left or does this translate to the right? Because we're modifying the x variable here, right? So you just have to just ask yourself, does the red graph look like something that starts, okay, 1, 2 over here, or does it look like something that starts 1, 2 over here, okay, when we're looking at the y-intercept? Which direction does it translate? Okay, does it go to the right or to the left? And to confirm, I would just plug numbers in. I would just plug numbers in. So I'll be like, well, if I put the x, if I just assume x is 0, then what's the number that comes out? So if I put x is equal to 0, then the number that comes out for f of 2 is 3. So I would start over here. If I put x as -1, then what will come out? -1 function of oops, what happened? -1 plus 2 is 1, so I would just take this over here, right? I would get a 3. So -1 would also be a 3, right? And I would just sort of slowly build this graph out until I realize that this graph is actually translated to the left, okay? And so if you actually draw this out one by one, if you actually draw this out one by one by plugging in numbers, you will get something like this. Okay, that's the visual way of doing it in Solgic, in my logic, because I'm not a clean math thinker anymore. I'm just a sort of guerrilla math solver. Wow, that was hard to explain. Holy crap. All right, I don't know if that was helpful for you. If it was helpful for you, I'd love to hear it. If it wasn't helpful for you, then maybe someone else can explain it better. But I think we should move on just to keep the momentum going. I think I explained 15 already, so I'm going to move on. All right, I did explain 15, so I'm moving on to 16. 16, let's go. 16. Oops, sorry. Give me a second to clean this up. For the given function g, what is g8? So just plug 8 in. So g of 8 is equal to 2 plus 8 over 8, which is 10/8, which is equal to 5/4. H is defined by what is the slope of a line that is perpendicular? Well, -8 is the slope, so I just need to get a perpendicular one. So I just need to get, I need to flip the minus, so I need to get a positive, and then I need to flip the 8 into its inverse, so I need to make a 1/8. So 1/8. Whoa, sorry, that was not the answer. So over here, 1/8. I just sort of remember that for some reason. What number are we on? Oh, we're at 18. So we're about to get to 19 in just a second. 18 says, the solution to the given system of equations x, y, what is the value of x? Oh, so I just need to find what x is equal to in terms of y. Hang on. So I need to solve for y first, I think. Right. If I solve for y first, then if I can make everything y equals, then I can plug that into, right. So let me just get y equals. So x plus 2y is equal to 11. So I want to get a y equals. So how do I get a y equals on that? I just do 11 minus x divided by 2. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna turn off my screen for a second while I sign back in. Okay, give me a sec. Okay. Dude. Where's my math? Okay, here we go. Test questions. Math without calculator. That question was like question 18 or so, something like that. So I'm gonna go in. Okay, yeah. So now I know what y is equal to in terms of x, so I can just plug that back into the other bit. So 3x plus 3 of 11 minus x over 2 is equal to 24. I probably should have gone the other way. Oh my god, I should have gone the other way because this is so much more complicated, but whatever. First, I'm just going to divide everything by 3 on both sides. So x plus 11 over 2 minus x over 2 is equal to 24. And then I'm just going to multiply everything by 2. Just going to multiply all sides by 2. So what I'm going to get is 2x minus x plus 11 is equal to 48. So then x is equal to 48 minus 11, which is equal to 37. What happened? Wait, hang on, what happened? I'm just going to think for a second. I feel like I didn't make any mistakes here, but I must have made a mistake. So I also think this was way more complicated than it had to be, because now that I'm thinking about it, I could have just made something a 0. I could have just learned what y was immediately by making one of them 0. So for example, let's just start that over. X plus 2y is equal to 11. So what are the intercepts? When x is equal to 0, then y is equal to 11 halves. When y is equal to 0, then x is equal to 11. So then if I just feed that into the third one, if I make this and feed that into the third one, that would be... What? How come I could get this in the real test, but I can't get it now? Oh, I'm looking for the intersection of the two. Ah, dude. So... I didn't understand the question. Now I understand the question. Now I understand the question. But how come I can't get it? I still don't know my approach right away. I wonder... This is dangerous, man. It means that during the real test, I wouldn't necessarily be able to produce my logic right away. My logic is very unstable. So what I know is that the xy, they have to be equal to each other. I don't know, man. I literally cannot figure this out right now. I have this gut feeling that tells me I can just... No, I don't want to follow my gut feeling anymore because I got this wrong twice in a row. So I just cannot figure this out. I could figure it out for some reason during the real test, but I can't figure it out right now. Boo. I'm going to come back. All right, I'm going to go to 19. This one was annoying. Let's try this. Volume equals m cubed Sure. So rectangular prism A is similar to rectangular prism B, where the longest side of prism A corresponds to the longest side of B. And we're talking about the volume. The table gives the volumes of the two prisms. The longest side of A is 6 meters. What is the length of the longest side of B? So what's 96 divided by 12? That's 8, right? So 8 is equal to 2 cubed. So what this means, since we're talking about volume, it just means that it has to be 12, like it has to be twice as long. So I think it's 12. Oh, sorry. So cubed is for volume, squared is for area, and then just without any of that, without an exponent, it's just for length. So if 8 is equal to 2 cubed, then that means that the length has to be twice as long. And they're similar to each other. Therefore, the longest side of A is 6, so the longest side of B has to be 6 times 2, which is 12. So that's 12. Oh, except I went backwards. So, sorry. I meant 6 divided by 2. Because I was forgetting that the A was the larger one. I flipped my A and B. Whoa. That one wasn't so hard. That was actually easier today than it was during the real test, because during the real test, I forgot to just divide 96 by 12, because I'm trying to figure out the ratio, the cubic ratio between these two. So the cubic ratio between these two is it has like double. Like, yeah, does that make any sense? Like, I'm trying to figure out this cubic, like what I'm calling is a cubic ratio here. I'm going to call it CR, right? I just want to find out what this number is, this CR, right? So that's what I figured out right away by just dividing 96 over 12. And my gut feeling just told me to do that because I kind of vaguely remembered that from when a length gets twice as long, then the area gets 4 times as long, and the volume gets 8 times as long, 8 times as large. So that's the way I got that. If there's no other questions on 19, then I'll do 20. One solution can be written as x is equal to 5 plus root of n, where n is a constant. What's the value of n? Do I have to actually brute force this? I think I do. So let me just do it. 5 plus root of n squared minus 10, 5 plus root of n plus 14 is equal to 0. So let's get this. 25 plus 10 root of n plus n minus 50 minus 10 root of n plus 14 is equal to, oh, this is not so hard. You just need to go through all the steps because these cancel each other. Let me just explain which ones. This one and this one cancels each other, and so we're left with the n, and then we're left with a bunch of integers. So n is equal to 0 minus 14 plus 50 minus 25, because I had to minus 14 plus 50 minus 25. So n is equal to, I keep using the pencil for some reason. N is equal to 25 minus 14, which is 11. Okay. Boo! Yo, I don't think I should be doing math streams. It's terrible. Hang on. Which are the ones that I couldn't do? Let's see. There was the sine cosine one, which everyone kind of knew in advance, but I actually legitimately got stuck. I got stuck on 18. I just can't. For the life of me, I still cannot explain it. I got it right on the day for some reason, but I cannot figure it out right now. Like I can't even explain how I got this. What I know is that I'm looking for. So basically, what this is two lines, and there's a solution. The solution is that they intersect at xy. So I'm trying to figure out where xy is. So that means if I find out the point at which the y is equal to each other, then I can figure out the point at which the y is equal to each other. I just found my own solution. Okay, I'm gonna write both of them in terms of y. So x plus 2y is equal to 11, which means that y is equal to 11 minus x over 2. Okay, and then the second, on the other side, we also have just divide everything by 3. So y is equal to 24 minus x. Okay, 24 minus x. So I just need to make them equal to each other because these two y's are equal to each other. So 11 minus x over 2 is equal to 24 minus x. If I multiply both sides by 2, okay, then what you get is 11 minus x is equal to 48 minus 2x. This is, I assume this is much easier than I was giving it credit for, right? Which means that if I subtract 11 on both sides, and if I add 2x on both sides, then I get x is equal to, the hell? 37. Again, that was the, but I selected answer 5. Am I doing this wrong? Because that's what I had earlier. 37. But the y's, I just made the y's equal to each other. I don't, what? My answer was 5. I must be doing something wrong, but I don't know what, unless there's an actual clerical error here, but I don't think that's the case, right? I just made the y's equal to each other. They're both, and I didn't make a mistake in it. Oh my god, I did make a mistake. I did make a mistake. I didn't turn this into an 8. Dude. So if I turn this into an 8, then this becomes a 16, then this becomes a 5. Oh my god. That's what happens when you use shortcut. Well, okay, so my methodology wasn't wrong. It was just my stupid calculations where I was rushing them. I guess I'm still weak on that, huh? So hopefully I don't do that on the real test. But yeah, my lesson from reviewing the what do you call it, the no calculator section of the math test is solve, learn trigonometry, and you should be fine. Also, take your time, and you should be fine. That's my personal lesson. For you guys who actually watched the whole thing, I'm kind of surprised you did watch the whole thing, just because I'm learning that I'm not very good at explaining my math logic. I mean, it works for me, and I'm decent at getting the right and most of the right answers, right? Because I got a 770. But I'm just not a great explainer of math. So my bias right now is I don't mind doing live streams where I show you myself solving the math. I don't think that's a big deal. But when I do like solving of the SAT live, when I'm doing the math sections, I don't think it'd be good for me to like explain. I think there's there's going to be better teachers out there who can explain the math. Which makes me really hesitant to even go into the calculator, like the next section. Because I'm just like losing confidence, man. Like, to be honest. I just don't feel like qualified. I feel like I'm wasting people's time. I mean, hang on, how many questions are there? So out of 38 questions, I can probably get 35 of them and explain them no problem. But then there's gonna be like those 3 that I'm just gonna be like, on. And I think it's gonna just be a waste of time. No response from the chat right now. I'll be more explicit. I think I'm gonna cancel this. Oh, not cancel. I think I'm gonna stop the stream today because I don't feel confident reviewing. I don't feel confident reviewing the math with a calculator. And I think it's just good to just be like, hey, Saul got that math score. He's not a very good math tutor, but he got that math score, so good for him. I guess good for Saul. I will study math by watching other YouTubers. I think that's kind of the conclusion that I think you guys should be drawing right now. I don't think it's really necessary for me to go through the reviews because I'm just not good at this. Maybe in the future I'll be good at it, but at the moment I'm not very good at it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does anybody have opinions? Because I'm basically ready to close up this stream with a couple announcements about the Discord community. Okay, so I'm gonna make some announcements really quickly. Today, I will be skipping the math with calculator explanations because I'm just not great at it. And it just makes me feel stupid. So I'm going to skip that. But what I will do is, if you look at the description below, you'll see everything I'm about to say. I am going to continue with streaming myself taking the math test live. Okay, I'm going to still do that. And I'm probably still going to do the Q&A. I'm just not going to be confident about explaining my reasoning, but I'm still going to do everything. So when I do SAT Solve Live, it doesn't matter whether it's math or reading or writing, I'll do all of it. But when I, that's funny. That's not the right definition though. You used it wrong. If you think you used it correctly, please let me please interpret that for me. But it doesn't parse for me the right way because pathetic has to be like an excessively emotional, sentimental, stupid experience. So I will continue to do exactly what is written down below in the description. So next Monday evening, I will stream myself solving the math test live for the 2019 May US. After that though, everything's up in the air. So if you have a particular QAS that you want me to go over, speak now or forever hold your peace because I'll just choose something randomly. If you take or if you want to have a more productive experience watching my QAS SAT Solve live streams, I strongly recommend actually taking the test before me. Okay, if you take the test before me, then you'll be able to sort of hear my reasoning a couple of days later and compare the way you did it and the way I did it. And so I think the stream would be more useful to you. Yeah, so I think that's the main point I want to make. Besides that, we have the Discord server. You're welcome to join. You're welcome to ask questions. I'll still be on Discord throughout the weekend. Whenever I have free time, I'm just gonna chat. So you can just come in. And besides that, yes, we also found the March 2022 QAS PDF form. So you can go and find that in the link below. All right, guys. It is the weekend now. It's 10 p.m. here in Friday, US, East Coast time. I hope you guys are excited for the weekend. Get some rest. Learn use some math concepts on your own. And keep growing. Keep growing, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.